Years ago, a study was done on yoga and bone health. The study found that the 12 poses held for 30 seconds each resulted in improved bone density. Let's do those 12 poses. We'll start lying down. If you've got a strap, grab it. If you don't, we can improvise. Begin by bending your right knee, draw your right thigh in, take your strap around your right foot. Just at the base of the toes, spread your toes, hold on to the strap with two hands, and take the strap about as wide apart as your shoulders are. Spread your toes. Reach your right heel up toward the sky and draw your right toes just a little bit closer to the top of your yoga mat. Now, if you're feeling excessive tugging right behind the right knee, just bend your right knee a little bit. I like starting the sequence supine because it prepares the hamstrings for some of the standing poses that we'll be doing. Dr. Loren Fishman actually had a slightly different sequence, all standing poses first, then seated, and finally supine, which is the traditional order of yoga poses and classes. Now release your right foot down and just pause for a moment. Just kind of notice the difference, how the right leg feels so energized. Let's get that same energetic quality in the left leg as you draw the left thigh close to you in Supta Padangustasana, it's called. Take the strap around the base of the toes and spread your toes. Keep your right leg very active. And again, modify as needed. When the study was done, this pose came at the end of the sequence. It's always nice to get the hamstrings prepared for the standing poses. So as you reach your left heel toward the sky, your left toes toward your face, get a nice engagement of the leg and allow the breath to expand so that you can continue the expansion of the back side of the leg. You can release your left foot down and just feel the effects now. The back side of your legs may feel just a little bit more elongated. Now take the strap around your right foot. Reach your right foot to the sky. If this feels like too much for you, you can bend your left knee and plant your left foot on the mat. Take the strap now in your right hand, and I like wrapping the strap around the palm so that as you draw your right foot over to the right side and spread your toes, you feel grounded through the left side. You're not feeling like you're about to tip over to the right side. Maybe you can extend your left leg. And as you do, as you continue the action of this pose, maybe you can turn your right toes toward the earth. Keep a nice rootedness through the left leg as you draw the right foot off to the side. Have a nice ease in your breath, nice engagement in the muscles of the legs. Keeping the left leg rooted down. Inhale to lift your right foot up and release your strap around your right foot. Take your left leg up. Take the strap right at the base of the toes, not at the arch of the foot. Hold on to the strap in the left hand. And before you begin, make sure the left hand is nice and secure with the strap. You can keep the right side of the hip planted by rooting down through the right foot as you reach over. Your choice again. You can straighten the right leg as you're ready, but see if you can keep a nice action, a nice balanced action in the pelvic area as you draw just a little bit deeper into your pose. You're drawing in from the left heel all the way to the pelvis, maybe extending the right leg to keep a nice engagement as you draw the left foot to the left side. Just helping to open the hips before the practice. It's one of my favorite ways to start the practice. You feel so grounded, and yet you're able to start the work of stretching the back sides of the leg. You can turn your left toes toward the earth if you wish, keeping the right leg rooted down. Inhale to rise up, reach your foot up to the sky. Exhale and release the strap to the side. Extend both legs out and enjoy a nice fullness here in this supine Tadasana pose, in this pose where you just work on refining the alignment before coming to a standing Tadasana, a standing mountain pose. Bend your knees, rise up, stand tall, engage by drawing from the fingertips to the heart and down to the pelvis. Now step wide. In your wide stance, turn your right toes out, bend your knee, inhale, reach your arms up. Keep a nice spread to the fingers so that you have this engagement of the full length of the arm. As you root down through the back foot, can you just drop yourself a little bit deeper into the form of the pose? Virabhadrasana number 2, warrior pose. Feel the strength of the back leg to create a little bit more flexibility in the front leg as you drop a little bit lower in your pose. And as you keep the strength of the back leg, inhale, rise up to come out of the pose. Release your hands, turn your right toes in, left toes out, expand fully. Keeping that expansive stance, bend your left knee. You stay rooted in the back leg as you soften in the front leg. With full engagement of the breath, the back leg, you create this nice alignment in the pose that allows a little bit more ease to go a little bit deeper through the strength that you exhibit in the pose. As you root down through the back leg, inhale, rise up, exhale, release your hands, turn your left toes in, your right toes out, bend your right knee. You can take your forearm to the top of the thigh. It's my favorite way to come to this pose, the side angle pose, which allows you to stretch through the side body. As you look down to align your right knee right over the ankle, keep your back leg really strong. Reach your left arm up and over. And as you do, enjoy fullness in the breath. See if you can lift the underside ribs up. Maybe gaze up toward the sky, reaching from the back foot all the way to the fingertips and out through the crown of your head. Draw from the back foot to inhale and rise up. Come to the opposite side, turn your right toes parallel to the back edge of the mat, bend your front knee. Keep that steadiness and strength exhibited in the back leg. Take your forearm down to the top of the thigh. Reach your right arm up and over your head. From the back leg, rooted solidly down, you allow the front thigh to settle deeper into the pose. See if you can get a lifting quality of the underside ribs as you take your gaze up. The breath is full. You root down from the pelvis to the earth to inhale and lift yourself out of the pose. Release your hands. Keep your legs straight. Turn your left toes so the left foot is parallel to the back edge of the mat. Turn your right toes out. Lift your arms up to come to triangle pose with fullness from the pelvis to the armpit, out through the fingertips. Just draw it down to anywhere that feels comfortable. If you like to use blocks, by all means, use your blocks. So as you pull in toward the midline, from the front foot to the back foot, you feel a nice engagement of the inner thigh muscles. Keeping the back leg rooted, draw from the pelvis to the earth to inhale. Lift yourself up out of the pose. Come to the opposite side, so turn your left toes out. Align your front heel with the back arch. Draw it down into the pose. And it's nice to start the practice lying down like we did, just to get our hamstrings ready for some of these poses that really requires not a lot of flexibility in the back side of the leg. Keeping the breath full and bright as you just expand from the pelvis to the crown of the head and out through the fingertips. Root down through the back foot. With that engagement, rise up. Take yourself out of the pose and release your hands. Now step to Tadasana, mountain pose. Have your feet parallel and hip distance apart. Invite fullness to the breath and allow that fullness to create this felt sense of engagement. Move your weight toward your left foot while still keeping the right foot on the earth. So you really draw from the pelvis down to the earth. So as you move your weight to the left foot, you pull in from the left toes to the pelvis. Can you get lightness on the right leg in such a way that you can lift your right leg up? See about taking the right foot to the inner thigh area. And as you maintain nice steadiness in the breath, see if you can expand your pose fully. Use your arms to help allow this fullness of the pose. In whatever way works for you, as you stand on one leg, feel that standing leg really working nicely. Nice ease to the breath. Nice engagement all the way from the toes to the fingers. And now slowly release your hands down. Release your right foot down. Come to Tadasana again, standing on 2 feet. Drawing from the toes to the pelvis. Drawing from the fingertips to the heart and down to the pelvis. You feel so solid. You want to keep that feeling of being very engaged. Maintain that feeling of engagement with a nice broad foundation as you take your weight toward your right leg. When you feel steadiness in the right leg, lift your left leg up. Park your left foot to the inner thigh. With full engagement in the legs, let your arms just help you out in the balance. You breathe in and out long. And trees move, so if your tree is moving, that's fine. We're just working on getting more strength in the inner body. Good and health in our bones. You can slowly release your hands down and release your foot down. Let's do a variation of triangle pose. It's called Parvrtta Trikonasana, or twisted triangle. Step wide. Turn your right toes out. Move the left hip in such a way that you're now facing the front of the mat, keeping the back foot rooted. Reach your left hand toward your right shin bone. With that, can you reach your right arm up, keeping the back leg rooted? Open the chest nicely. This nice revolved triangle pose just has you open up. So many aspects to it. The back leg is really working to root itself to keep the balance as you just refine your twist even more. And now slowly take yourself out of the pose, and we'll come to the opposite side. So step your left foot forward, take your right foot back. You start in the triangle pose, maybe a shorter stance for many of us. Then turn your pelvis so that you can do the opposite action with the right hand reaching down toward the outer left shin. Just give yourself a few moments. Give yourself the time, the space to work the underside ribs to come to more fullness in the pose. Take your left arm up. Just invite fullness in the breath. Nice solid foundation from the back leg. You root down so fully to keep stability before inhaling to take yourself out of the pose. We'll now work on strength to the muscles that support the spine. So come to your belly. On your belly, reach your hands straight back. Press your palms down. Inhale, lift your chest up. Exhale, soften. Inhale, lift up. Exhale, soften. There are many variations that you can use. You can lift your legs up if you wish. You can reach your hands back if you wish. Continue a nice repetition of these actions to strengthen the muscles that support your spine. One more. Rise up and release down. Come to a seated pose. Reach your legs forward. Come to Tadasana. Sit tall. Bend your right knee. Park your right foot and turn toward your bent right leg. Keep the right hand pressing down to allow the heart to move forward rather than rounding. You want to sit tall, sit more forward on your sits bones. As you draw your breath in, you can just back off slightly to give your organs a little bit more space to move. And on the exhale breath, it's when you take yourself a little bit deeper into the form of the twist. Just back off, just pulsing with the breath Exaggerating more fullness on the exhale breath. Now release your right foot. Extend your right leg. Come to Tadasana again, this home base of seated poses. Bend your left knee. Take your hand just to the outside of the knee, and be careful, sometimes we pull the knee over just out of alignment. Our arms are so strong, so keep the alignment as you use your left hand to lift you more forward on your sits bones, to turn into the twist. And again, you're just using the breath to refine the pose. You back off slightly on the in-breath. The out-breath just allows a little bit more fullness. You back off on the in-breath. The out-breath as you twist a little bit deeper while the right leg stays grounded for stability. Release out of the pose. Come to Ardha Matsyendrasana. Now this pose can be a little complicated for some of us. We'll take our right foot to the outside of the left knee. Now if you are in that group that feels like this is a little bit too much for you, then extend your leg forward. If you can bend both knees and sit very firmly on the sits bones, then you're in the pose. So engage the legs more fully, draw in with the, rather than letting the leg hang out in its own power, hug in, take your hand to the outside of the knee, take the right hand behind you, work the hand a little bit closer to your left buttocks as you just draw your heart into the fullness of the twist, as you move the heart toward the right side. See if you can just root down through the right hip rather than taking all your weight to the left side. Press down through the right. Come out of the twist and have the right leg down. The left leg is the taller leg as you park your foot to the outside of the knee. And those of you that need to straighten the leg, by all means do that. Park your left hand down as a kickstand to move your heart forward. Take the right hand to the outside of the knee. Engage fully. See if you can balance out the weight that you feel on the left side compared to the right. So you move just a little bit deeper in your twist. Again, it's the exhale breath that takes you deeper. The inhale breath, give yourself space. Let the organs just find fullness there before exhaling and going deeper. Now release yourself out of the pose and come to lie down on your back. As you do, bend your knees, plant your feet. Pause for a moment as you bring the heads of the arm bones back. Press your elbows down with the palms facing each other. Press firmly through the base of the big toe to lift yourself up. Come to a bridge pose. Press your head back. Create just a little bit more space between your chest and your chin. Nice strength in the area of the neck. Keep on lifting the pelvis up as you draw in from the heels to your heart. Can you get a little bit more expansion on the front side of the body? Press your elbows down, lift up even more. find the fullness in the pose. And slowly release your pelvis down to the mat. Release your arms and extend your legs out. Come to the 12th pose in the series, Savasana. Close your eyes. Invite the fullness of your in-breath and out-breath. Invite a softness. You breathe in deep. And out long through the nose. You breathe in deep and out long. Breathe in deep. And out long. Breathe freely and naturally. Enjoy this time of rejuvenation in Savasana. Namaste.